Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Bleav.
This is the Bleav in the Warhawks podcast, part of the Bleav Network, with hosts Dusty Thibodeau.
I seem to be the only guy they can find to talk to.
And Chase Region.
Just offensive line, man. Still not getting credit for shit, and it's cool.
Chase, we are back for another episode. I think we're at number 6.
Crazy.
Has it been that much fun for you?
Blast, dude. I love doing this. It gives me something to do every Wednesday night.
Well,
but also, I don't love looking at you, but it's fun to talk with you.
Just close your eyes.
Great face for radio, they say.
Who, you or me?
Yes.
Yes. We got some good news, though, that we finally broke into the win column on men's basketball and, in fact, swept South Alabama with a home and road victory.
Oh, yeah. We're back.
And then went to the ATL, and I forget where I said it publicly that they were going to beat the Panthers, and that is not the case.
Yeah, I saw some scores this weekend. Didn't go great.
Yeah. Sorry, that's all I had. I did go see Missy Bilderback when she came to my neck of the woods. Went to see them beat Texas State last weekend, I guess it was. Always good to see the Warhawks when they're winning, especially on the way of beating, I guess, my hometown team there of Texas State. But, Chase, I do have the confession. I did have to parlay the bet. I had to shake the mojo that every time I go somewhere I wear ULM gear and they lose. So I parlayed it with a Bobcat T-shirt and a ULM polo.
Well, we all know you're known for your style, bud. So at least it didn't wreck him too bad, sounds like.
Do I got to get a Lafayette shirt, though?
Get a Lafayette shirt and see if I do this podcast again. Come on, don't get me started. I've already gotten in trouble.
You got in trouble for what now?
I think I just talk about hating Lafayette too much.
I mean, I love the city.
Nope. They got a good cookie spot, and that's all I'll give them. They got a good cookie spot, and that's about it.
Cookie spot?
Yeah, there's a cookie spot made by some, she was 11 years old. She made the cookie spots. Very good cookies. That's all I'm going to give them. Jerseys are ugly. Stadium, glad it got demolished. Worst press box in America. I don't know. You want me to keep going? I mean, how much can I continue to pound myself into this hole here?
Well, I mean, you're used to kind of the shit talking in the trenches.
Yeah.
You're kind of used to having that. So we have a guest that can probably relate to all the things that you were saying, Chase.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You want to hear about our guest here?
I do. Please fill us in.
Let's hope I don't mess this up. You ready? Today, we have a 6'4", 310-pound offensive lineman. In high school, he was a first-team all-district tight end. That doesn't make sense. A first-team all-district defensive end. That doesn't make sense either. District defensive MVP. Recruited out of Allen, Texas as a defensive end. But we all know he was too smart for that. It is my pleasure to introduce to you, Thibs, an all Sun Belt Conference honorable mention with over 20 starts for the Warhawks, my favorite player and soon to be yours, the Big Fish Elijah Fisher.
What's what's going on? Nailed the introduction, by the way. Awesome.
Thanks,
I love
Fish.
it.
I hope it was all online because I didn't reach out beforehand at all. And
Little asterisk though. I'm actually a 2-time honorable mention now. So
2-time. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It doesn't have 2012.
Fish,
we need to reach out to Martin about that.
I just want to know if you are going to use some of that NIL money to pay Chase to be your hype man. So, when you're walking into chemistry class, you got Chase walking in before you, holding a belt and everything.
Has his headset on with the mic to his mouth, just a normal Chase attire, dude. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, Fish doesn't need that.
Absolutely.
I shout that guy out constantly on radio. And I think this year, I've stated multiple times, Fish, to your face and publicly, you've been my favorite player for the Warhawks last 2 years. We didn't play the same position, but we played the same, offensive line. I think that'll always hold a bond.
Absolutely.
And I've also been in public, and I'll say this here today to your face. I called you 2 times the ugliest player on the ULM Warhawks.
Well, listen, God gave me a lot of things. He did not give me looks. I think we all can see that. He gave me a little bit of athleticism, so
Sure.
I'll roll with the punch.
Love it.
Absolutely,
Love it, dude.
absolutely. No, but it's awesome.
Thanks for
It's good
joining
to
us,
talk to
brother.
you guys. Absolutely, thank you for having me. It's cool. Y'all know I rock with both of y'all. So
Come on.
come on.
So Fish, he brought it up. You were once one of the good guys on the defensive side.
Yeah.
What made you cross and want to play on that side of the
Uh,
ball?
it's a long story. Pretty much, my freshman year I actually started 4 games. True freshman, defensive end. That was during COVID. It was a rough year. We went 0-10 that year. And going into next fall camp, our starting center at the time, Garrett Hirsch, he's now with Rich Rod over in West Virginia. He's part of that staff. So he actually got hurt, and I was second on the depth chart at the time at defensive end. And, I wasn't fast. I wasn't, crazy, pass rush guy. I was a run stopper. I mean, let's be real here. So pretty much he got hurt, and my options were, you know, go help that side of the ball or just keep being a backup. And if you know anything about me, I like football. I like being a ball player, and my main thing is being on the field. So, at the time, Coach Bowden, Coach Bowden, God rest his soul, part of the ULM RIP now, but he just like, we need you over there. If you do want to play at the next level, I foresee you, moving into the offensive line role. I don't think it would be as a defensive liner. And when he said it, it kind of clicked in my brain. I was like, I'm just gonna rock with it, whatever. Like, if it gets me playing time, it gets me playing time. And I ended up moving, started as a center. you know I was a backup going into spring the next season. Then I had surgery that season too when I had got moved. I had got surgery, rehab the whole way. Spring came around. I was a backup at center, and then a couple guys transferred, blah blah blah. Fish is now the starting left guard. Then switched to right guard. Then went back to left. Then went back to right. Now played last season at left guard, and it's been a kind of roller coaster getting to where I am now. But I mean, yeah, I wouldn't see it going any other way, working out in my favor. So
Yeah, Fish, that's a roundabout way to say that you got fat and then a coach told you to go the other side of the line.
listen,
But, but hey, you know what? You spin it whatever way you want, bud. It is
getting
what
fat and being fat are two very different things. I
That's
was
true.
already,
That's true.
I was hefty. I was hefty, brother. I wasn't no light guy at defensive end.
I played with somebody who had done a similar thing on our offensive line, and it was just a testament to how, those are such different positions. I know that at defensive line you learn a lot of technique that offensive line does, but offensive line, I didn't really have that same experience. Like, I knew what they were trying to do, but I didn't know how they were trying to do it.
Yeah.
And what a weird switch up. And I know the offenses you played in, like, to go left guard, I only played right tackle there, and to go left guard to right guard and then move around. I mean, what a brutal thing. But hey, that's a cool selling point next level, right? So hey,
and the more and that's the thing is being an honorable mention at right and left guard. I think they obviously can see what I can do.
Yeah.
And having center under my belt as well is it's been all the more like just helpful for me. And I have aspirations to play at the next level. I would love to. I think I have what it takes, and I'd love to show a team that I can do it. And if it comes, it comes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we're big on story time here, so I'm gonna tell a story about Fish real quick, Thibs. This year, okay, I'm on the sidelines. It's my job to find when people get hurt, stuff like that. We see Fish go down. Fish, what game was that? What game you went down and then you had a bye week next week?
James Madison.
Okay, and Fish goes down, and I think we had some real great depth at offensive line this year. And, I think they filled in fine. I don't think they can do the jobs you can do. Okay. But Fish gets off the next week. I see him and I walk up to him, and I think it was was an easier game, right? It was an
Southern
FCS
Miss.
game.
Southern
Okay.
Miss.
All right. Well, I'm not calling
Pretty
them
much,
FCS.
yeah,
but
pretty much.
No. Chill out. Yeah. And I walk up Fish, and I'm trying to have a heart to heart with him. Thibs, I said, Fish, I just want you to know, take care of your knee. It's what took me out of this game. That plus a couple other things, and you just be careful. He was like, yeah, man, I should be back in 2 weeks. Just a sprain. I'll be all right. Yada yada. And I said, hey, man, just make sure you're taking care of yourself. And then he was like, yeah, whatever. The next week I saw him in pads. He had it wrapped up. And he was playing. I think we had a bye week, and then the game after, and he was playing. I said, Fish, you all right? I've heard your game time decision, and again, I just want you to make sure you take care of yourself. And he looks me dead in the eyes, and he goes, fuck you, man. And I was like, all right, my guy, let's go. Let's go, Fish. Dude. Get to it, brother.
Dude,
that's the most offensive line story ever.
I was in that zone,
that
for us. I don't want to affect his brand like that. He was in the zone, and I was like, you know what?
Good.
Hey, let's go, brother.
I had the blinders on. Like, I was already juiced. Like,
yeah, ready to go. Hey, you know what? I'm sitting there looking out for you, but hey, I'll just I'll screw off. Don't worry. No, don't worry.
But
don't try to take that now.
Bro,
I'll screw
like, fuck you. I'm playing. That's what it is. I'm sorry. Like, I'm playing this game. And that was like, because that wasn't really something that like I wanted to miss Southern Miss. Like, because James Madison happened, and we had a bye week. And then we played Southern Miss. Gotcha. So leading into Southern Miss, I was like, don't try to like let me play, please. Like, this isn't something that needs to be a conversation. And Coach V and the amazing medical staff we have, like they were just like, come on, bro, go sit over there. Like let Reese do it. And shout out Reese Still. He came in Southern Miss, he did the damn thing. Like, he won us a game. He had amazing plays. And he had mistakes just like everybody did. And I think it was just awesome that. Obviously, like, I am the leader of the offensive line, so when I fell, you see more guys being able to step up. And Jay Mickle, Carter had already been there, and Sam Carson, he's about to go big time in the CFL, and he stepped up that week too, and Q got some playing time with Reese, and I think it was just awesome because Sam was kind of coming off of injury too, and the week after that, me and him both got to come back at the same time. So, that was my roommate, like that was my guy. Yeah. So it was just like, it all lit up perfectly. But no, I was very pissed about that, James Madison, because it hurt. First of all, I understand that. I understand hurt. Like, if it's pain versus it being hurt, I understand. That's why I was on the ground. But the whole time I'm on the ground, they're like, hold on, just stay on the ground. And I'm like, no, bro, get me the fuck up. And like, I'm freaking out. Coach V's like, what do you want? What do you want? And I'm like, to get the fuck off the ground, like now. Like, y'all aren't listening to me. And he was like, all right, cool. And he was like, all right, y'all move. Get him up. And then I ran off the field and, got in the tent, talked to the doctors real quick, blah, blah, blah. And I think I was out maybe 2-3 plays. Like, I was like, no.
Mm-hmm. Well, hey, if that's when it's warm, you might as well. It's going to hurt.
And
it all hurts,
James Madison. Like, James Madison.
And it was a great game.
Yes, dude. I mean, I played well, and it does suck because playing offensive line, you have to play through injuries. Like, that's like I still have injuries that linger now, but it's about how you control it and what work you're doing. And shout out Coach Novick, dude. I'm telling you, these strength guys got us in check. They got us working, brother. Working.
Well, I'll tell you, I turned 30 next week, bro. I still got issues from offensive lines. It doesn't go anywhere. Just no. Just know what your future holds. All right,
Children.
Yeah, I'm up there. I'm 23, man. I'm turning 24 this year.
Children.
In your world, you're old, bro.
Oh, brother, I'm grandpa. Dude, you should how these kids talk to me. Okay, first of all, let's just say this. We got pretty much all of our new guys. We got a bunch of pretty much our team in right now. And it's awesome because I'm able to meet the guys now, go through spring with them, build those relationships. Well, it's funny. We had one of our freshmen coming in. He's 17 years old.
Wow.
17. And I'm like, brother, I'm 6 years older than you. And he comes up to me and he's like, hey man, he was like, what's up, Fish? And I was like, oh my gosh, you know who I am? Like, I was taken aback a little bit. And
you're shaking his hand, he's trying to dap you up.
It was like one of those like whatever. So I like dap him up, and he's like, "Yeah, I mean, like I've seen you, like I've been following the team, blah blah blah, for a couple years now." And I'm just like,
No.
I was like, "You didn't have to take it there. I understand. You could have just said, you know who I was. You didn't have to say you know me for a couple years, because that makes me,
I've
you
been
know."
watching you since I was in 8th grade, man.
Yeah,
You're
like I
really
don't need to
good.
hear that. I don't need to hear that. I don't. I really don't. I don't need to hear it at all. And it just makes me feel old. And I get called grandpa, the ghost of ULM. That's
No,
mine. That's one of
no, the
mine.
ghost
Yeah.
of Terry Bell. No way.
Oh man, I don't want to be that ghost. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So, so
Personally,
Fishy, you mentioned earlier that you're a COVID kid,
I am.
and
Yes.
that was the end of the era there for Matt Viator.
Oh yeah, that was my first coach.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So tell me, we always ask everyone why ULM. So what in the craziness of COVID
God.
that you couldn't visit, you probably got to maybe Zoom or FaceTime virtual
Yeah.
visit. What about ULM stood out, and why was ULM your school?
So it's actually a really crazy story. And so before, like my sophomore, pretty much on, really, I committed my junior year, but I was committed to Illinois State. So I was committed to Illinois State FCS program. I was going to go play for Coach Spack and all them up there, and ended up I was still kind of getting recruited. I had pretty much all the FCS. I had Army come in and get me. They wanted me to go real bad, and I was kind of leaning towards them, and still Illinois State, obviously. And then ULM came on some like random Tuesday, dude. Like I had just got out of like science class, and I was going to my next class, and my coach calls me. He's like, "Get up here now!" And like, cause at Allen, the campus is like there's no walking to the facility. You got to drive over there. Like you got to go get your car, then drive all the way over there, then walk all the way in. Yeah, it took like 10 minutes, but I ended up having like an hour and a half conversation with them. So I had missed 2 classes during this whole time. And it was Coach Bolfing and Coach Camp. Coach Bolfing was the quarterback coach, and Coach Camp was the D-line coach at the time. And just had an amazing conversation with them. It was just like they were asking me questions, and it was only supposed to be like 10 minutes. I was only supposed to pretty much shake their hand, let them get to know me, and bounce. And they came in, had an amazing conversation. Well, after those 2 classes, I just dipped. I went home. I was senior year. I was the man with the plan. I was out of there. I was like, I ain't going to class. I'm out. So I had just got back. My homie was with me, and then my coach calls me. He's like, "Hey, come back up here, like now." And I was like, I just got home. Like I just set my stuff down, about to take a shower, jump in the shower, blah blah blah. Drive back up there, and they offered me in the parking lot at that time. So I hadn't heard nothing from them. Didn't even know who they were, nothing. And then that day happened. They offered me on the spot. And what's crazy is they had called Coach Viator when I had left and went home. And then Coach Viator was like, "Get him," like immediately. And then went on a visit. It was actually right before COVID. So my birthday's in December. So I had turned 18, went on the visit. It was right after our playoffs. We had lost in the playoffs, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden turn around, I'm coming to ULM on a visit, had a blast, loved everybody. It felt like home because I grew up in Rock Hill, South Carolina. It's a small town. Jadavion Clowney, that's his hometown. Stephon Gilmore is also from there. So it just kind of reminded me of home, and everything kind of set in. Called Illinois State. I was like, I'm out of here. I'm going to the Bayou. I'm out. But I
Dude,
mean,
the
during
ULM
COVID,
way,
it was
off
rough.
in the parking lot.
Oh man, I couldn't. I like being here now. There's no other way I could see it happening. Absolutely.
But Fish, in your tenure there, you've played for some great coaches. I mean, I know. Obviously, you're not a Bowden fan, but to play for a Bowden,
no disrespect to him. Me and him just didn't really see eye to eye a lot.
Sure.
Wish the best for him, but me and him just didn't really see, and that happens with coaches. But
Sure.
pretty much besides him, I mean, that was I clicked with all my. I mean, like you were saying, I'm sure you were about to say Rich Rod.
Love Seeger.
no, I
Love
could
Seeger.
care less about Rich Rod. But you did get coached by another guy that I do have a lot of respect for. Good old Rick Trickett. How was
Coach
it with
Trick.
Trickett?
Yeah, that dude's rough.
I mean, he's an offensive line coach through and through.
Oh, he's a guru. Like Coach Trickett, like, and that's what sucks is that was the year I had surgery. I didn't really. He came in after I'd already had surgery. I wasn't really at the facility like that. Like I was doing my own thing. I wasn't really. But I know he would have, like, if offensive linemen didn't like do the right shit, they were doing wall sits with a 45-pound plate on their lap during meetings and stuff. Like, it was rough. I don't know, but I know he was very, very intelligent. I know he's been with Rich Rod a long time, and they have a great relationship. So it was. I mean, it's always cool to see relationships like that being built forever. I mean, you see it with Coach V now. Like, he brought in Coach Brigg. Um, he's known him forever, and he loves him to death. And bringing in some assistant coaches that have been like spot on for what he's needed, because Coach V calls and he's also the head coach. So it's just it's cool to see how all those relationships play out, especially in the coaching world.
When it looked like Vincent was going to leave in the offseason, were you going, bruh, that means 4 coaches in 4 years? Or were you just kind of like, that's the nature of the business, is what it is?
I mean, I was a little worried, because this place has my heart, and I'm a firm believer, like I've said many times, on if you start somewhere, you should finish somewhere that you started at, and I've always been a believer on that. But I mean, when all that was happening, it put a lot on my plate, because then it's like, do I transfer, or do I? Because I mean, having traction behind your name obviously makes you want to get in the portal, and you could get picked up by teams that are, in others' eyes, above what ULM is. I don't personally see it that way. I think who we block every week are just as big, just as athletic. And we still play those big teams, and obviously there's a different speed. I won't lie. You go play freaking Bama, you you realize some stuff, and you go block Jaheim Otis a couple times, and you're like, okay, well, that's a little different. So I mean, it put a lot on my plate, but I didn't fault him for doing that. Like, I get it. I've been in the business long enough to know that it is a business first. And it just so happens that we got somebody that is just a different breed, bro. He's just different. Coach V is a man of his word, and forever will be. Like, I'll die for him. I'm so serious. I would die behind Coach V. That's why, like, I speak so highly of him, is just because he's just a real dude, and he had opportunities to leave. I know he did. I mean, I think everybody in this call could know he had those chances. I mean, he took a place that was known for losing, known for just all the wrong stuff, and just flipped it on its head. And the people of this town are just breathing different about the football team and how we're viewed. And the students can be happy and proud to say that we have an amazing football team with an amazing coach. And I feel like that hasn't happened in a long time. So when I found out he was coming back, dude, I was ecstatic. I was like, I'm ready to let's get to work. That was and he called me after everything had happened, and I was just like, Coach, I'm ready. Like I want to win now. Like, this is my last go around. I was like, all my eggs are in this basket. I was like, they're gonna have to kill me. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm going to play. It's going to take everybody to get me off the field, and he has the same mindset. So I think whoever can appreciate that will understand who he is. And I'm just so happy he came back, dude, because if he didn't, oh my gosh, it was gonna be horrible for me. I had a lot to decide, because
For sure.
Did you Google Jacksonville, Mississippi? I mean, Alabama.
Jacksonville, Alabama.
I know all about him. I knew a couple guys on the staff, and like I said, Garrett Hirsch, he was a center here. He's a part of Rich Rod's staff, and he was at Jacksonville State with him. And all the coaches that he took with him to Jack State pretty much coached here, like Coach Alley, their tight ends
And the
coach.
roster.
Yeah, pretty much, like, all of them. And that's why, like, it kind of hurt a little bit. They ain't asked Fish to go, but I was like, bet. I was like, I'm gonna show you. Don't worry, you'll be recruiting Fish one day.
Hell yeah, Fish. I love that confidence. Talk that shit. Hey, no, you proved it, dude. 100%.
Yeah.
Like, you've shown out and you balled out and you do your thing, and you got a cool opportunity in front of you. Like,
Absolutely.
And I know you don't have a big head about it, but keep grinding. Know that you get to be a part of something. You were a part of something really cool this year, in the sense that the best start in program history. And and we all know, like, I know from being in that locker room, I know this. I'm sorry, being in that locker room previously, old head, and then you being in there, and then talking with Coach enough that, like, y'all got a lot of big plans, and there's some steps, and I know that, like, I know we can both agree that this feels like something's different about it.
Absolutely.
And it might be just that he scares the living shit out of me, but he just and I know we both, I don't know if Thibs can do this, but we both can look at the top of his head. And when I'm scared of somebody that I can look at the top of their head, it just makes it so much worse.
Oh, way worse, dude.
You know what I mean? I'm like, hold him a little bit up there, but also stop yelling at me.
Yeah, your midsection's open. He has a couple, just quick jabs. Yeah, nah, I'm good.
Right. Yeah,
I like how Chase makes it sound like he's a 7-footer, and I mean I'm 6'2".
Well,
he's got maybe an inch. I mean, when he wears his high heels, like 3 inches.
Yeah, I do have.
When I see him,
you're right. Sorry,
when I see him without the pads on, I mean, he's a bigger guy, but when I put the pads on, it just feels like I just.
Oh, you're huge,
dude. I didn't realize that until we played. It might have been like A&M or something, and I saw myself in the white jersey. I was like, ooh. I was like, that's a big ball right there.
That salad bar at Schultz is starting to look good.
Oh, brother. I don't know about all that, but I mean, I might make a steak at the crib or something. I'm a little past Schultz, a little past it. That was junior year. I got
That's when you did start. You're going to senior year, so just start doing tons of triceps. So every time, I don't know if y'all getting 3 points nowadays, but you put your hand on the ground, your triceps are popping. But Thibs, we could talk about Thibs. You got to save this podcast because I'm about to go into like depths of weightlifting and offensive line technique and stuff nobody wants to know about. You got to help us here.
I'm just sitting back and enjoying 2 offensive linemen just do their thing.
Oh yeah.
But going back to get us on the track again, since Chase is all over the place.
This always happens. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
It always happens.
Yeah.
3 coaches you played for. What's been the biggest difference that you've seen in that progression? Kind of, even as you said, going from the 0-10. I think we were 4-8, and then
4-8,
5-7.
Yes, sir. I mean, I think the main thing is just you see where the standards are. That's pretty much because there's a lot of things that go into making a losing program into a winning program. And it's not. I'm not even just talking about a record. You know what I mean? I'm talking about how you approach every day, like what your beliefs are as a team. You know what I mean? And that's something that hasn't really been highlighted with all the other teams I've been on. You know what I mean? It's just been show up, work, try to win. As opposed to our mindset now is like, no, we work now. So when we do start playing, shit's easy and we do win because we're supposed to win, as opposed to being a 50-50 shot. Like we might be in the game, we might not. Like, it's like, no, we're going to dominate the game from the start to the finish, and we're going to finish you in the fourth quarter. And that's who we are. And I think that whole mindset in itself is pretty much taking everything and boiling it down to one. You know what I mean? So it's the standard and how everybody approaches every day. You know what I'm saying? Just small stuff like we take pride in like how we enter the meeting room and stuff. Like everybody wearing the same stuff. Like don't wear cleats in the meeting room because we want to take care of our stuff. Like it's just small stuff that you wouldn't really think about is important until it's like in your face. Like we are taking care of these things. You're like, oh my gosh, wow. We come into a locker room, it's clean. Like everybody's stuff is clean. Nothing's thrown everywhere. Dude, before, like, it would be like just a freaking pigsty, dude. It'd be terrible. It'd be clothes everywhere, trash on the ground, and everybody just like, all right, whatever, they'll clean it up. But it's just like standards, pretty much.
The standard was set high last year at the running back position. How was it blocking for Ahmad Hardy?
It was fun, dude, and I get this question a lot, which is kind of weird. I just think you don't realize it from like my perspective because I'm trying to do what I do. You know what I mean? I'm trying to give him a shot. So when you do see that 2-2 running past you and he's taking off, you're like, oh, thank you so much. Fat man jog to the end. Shout out Chase. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. And it was just like the Marshall touchdown. Thinking about that just takes me back to Marshall, dude, and him. And we had a great double team block on the backside. And I got up to the backer and I was messing with him, and he shed me. And I was like, oh no, he's about to make the tackle. And I just see, and I was, oh yes. I look back for flags, no flags. I start running. I'm like, yes, run, take off. It was just, I mean, it was awesome. And you realize, like, yes, the offensive line has a lot to do with how he ran the ball last year, but the second efforts, the broken tackles. Like on film, you see those things, and you're like, wow, like that's elite. You know what I mean? And it makes me excited for who's going to step up now in the running back room. And we got new recruits, we got a couple guys coming back, and everybody will have the shot. And I'm excited to see who will take it, because everybody knows we run the football. It's not a secret. That's what we do. So I'm super excited to see. And during these workouts, you can see who can run and who can move. And I'm telling you, these running backs are lethal, brother. Lethal.
Yeah, but listen, I think it's right. I'm an offensive lineman at heart. Now I'm in the role of analyzing and I rarely critique you guys. I'm super pro ULM in the same way that you are. But I think it's such an understatement of the ability. We had to play 7 offensive linemen this year. I think when you were out per game, you had
Reese.
You had Reese. And so it's just like it was such an impressive feat. When you watch the game in your future life, I hope that you can watch anything but the offensive line, because it's not really great radio if you have to do something like that.
Dude, I can't.
But that's really where I watched in the beginning, and then I can watch beyond that. But my point is that the movement, Ahmad Hardy had a lot of great broken tackles. You got to give him that. And he was a really great player, and he deserves every bit of what he's gotten. But I think it was such an understatement of what the offensive line could do this year, the efficiency that you helped him have, because his broken tackles weren't a lot of defensive ends. They weren't a lot of defensive tackles.
No. Second level.
There were a lot of safeties. There were a lot of, and again, that's no discredit to Ahmad. I'm a huge Ahmad fan. I hope he does great. But I think it's such an understated part that the success that we saw on offense this year was a large part due to the commitment to running the ball and the commitment to relying on your offensive line. It was so great to watch you guys play. I have a question real quick. This year you play, were you the only offensive line starter remaining on that offensive line?
What, coming from last year or going into this year?
Last year to
coming
2023
in from,
to 24.
Yes.
And that's so I don't think people realize how much camaraderie and bonds are made on that offensive line. And I know you're kind of seen as the weirdos on the team a lot of the time.
Oh yeah.
But to play with 4 new dudes and try to lead them and try to what a brutal undertaking. But I mean, what a great, obviously saw some great success with it this year.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way, and I think it takes a lot for you to build those relationships over and over again. But y'all know me, dude. I'm chilling. Like I like messing around. I like having fun. I'm easygoing. It's not hard. And being able to have Jay back come in. So Jay actually got his extra year through the whole JUCO thing and whatever happened with them. So got him coming back. And I personally think that him, he's also my best friend too. So that's my dog for real. And having him being able to lead too is it takes a lot of weight off my shoulders. It's not just about me now, you know what I mean? And he's super freaking strong. He's fast. He's athletic. He's just like I am, and if not more, you know what I mean? So it's cool because I always have someone to compete with now too.
Sure.
And it just it all.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I know you're. When you say fast, I like what's a 40 look like?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm not timing. We don't really time 40s. We do 10-yard splits, but I will tell you that I topped out my fastest was 19 miles an hour. I think with everything going on.
Sucks, dude.
Yeah.
You used to be able to just be like, oh, I ran a 5.
Chase,
anyway,
what was your 40 time?
I ran a 4.9. Watch your mouth. I was very fast.
I think honestly, I think
fast offensive lineman, which is the worst thing to be as an offensive lineman.
No bullshit. Yeah,
in an air raid, Fish. When I was there, we ran an air raid. We passed the ball 80 times a game. Being fast was useless, dude. We had
want to be slow.
Tactical. We ran it twice, and I messed it up twice. I never ran it again. So
that's the life of offensive lineman, literally. Oh man, no, but I mean, if I had to guess, my 40 would be around 5.49. I don't think it's above a 5.1, honestly. And that's also I'm saying that as in fully healthy, fully trained. I'm training for the 40. I'm touching 4.9 for sure.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do that next year. Good luck, brother.
Oh man, Coach Novi's gonna be able to pull it out of me, brother. He loves it too. I got a 32-inch vertical. He loves hearing that.
Ooh, can you dunk?
Oh, yeah. I haven't tried. I'm a big believer on don't play basketball if you're a fat guy. You fuck around, hurt yourself, and your ankle rolls
No,
and
bro.
all. Yeah, dude, it's
That
terrible.
little pick and roll action and then
Nah,
not
zero.
you,
I'm
huh?
not. Nope, nope. I'm too old. I'm not risking my career on a damn dunk. Hell no. That's just not happening.
Hey,
Not
we'll
happening.
talk about training at a later time. I told this last week on this podcast that I've started training at a place out here in Fort Worth that I just moved recently to Fort Worth, and we'll have to talk about it later because it is the spot to go to. I think you'll really enjoy it.
What, Michael
And if you
Johnson?
come back in town, no, your 40 training, your combine training, pro day, and stuff like that. Like, don't worry about it.
Wait, y'all gotta give me a second. I gotta check on dinner. You nosy.
I love that he's just like, I'm done. I got to go eat. The most offensive line thing possible.
Dead middle
No.
of a podcast. Thanks. Hey, we're professionals.
So
It is what
actually,
it is.
funny story. It's me and my girlfriend's 2-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. We actually moved into this apartment together, and you know, had a good credit score. She had a good credit score, so it ended up working out. So,
Matter for apartments in Monroe Fish. Credit
brother,
score.
it matters if you want to get approved for it. Listen here, brother. Because I had no money to show. I ain't had no income like that. Fish wasn't making open doors yet. He wasn't a part of the program. So
Yeah.
but, I mean, they
What's a
hooked
good
us up.
segue? Tell us about, you live in a completely different world than I ever lived in. Tell us about, how NIL is working from your end and how people can support you and all that.
It's pretty much just through open doors. I don't really have anything like merch and stuff. Well, actually, I have the oh my gosh, what's the Influxer or Influencer app?
Okay.
They can go buy all my stuff on that. Just look up ULM, you'll find Fish on there, big ugly face, number 58. You can go buy whatever you want. It's pretty cool, and I got a couple of things going, but y'all know me. I try to stay focused on football. All that stuff ain't really for me. Like I just try to do what I do and just lead the team. It's like the money thing. It's cool that like I'm able to get it, and I'm able to support different companies and stuff. But I try to keep
And
the main thing the main thing.
I don't think Thibs wants to go into this, but I think it's such an underrated part of. I love what you say. End where you start. Okay, but it's an underrated part to be in the right system with the right coaching,
Oh,
right,
absolutely.
and then to know. The small things about where to go get lunch, where to go, and these kids that guys that transfer two or three times. It's I don't understand how you can grow a love for the place.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
part escapes me, and I realize it's some of it's just business, and I get that. But man, I mean, what an underrated part of like just knowing shit. You know where to go grocery shopping.
Yeah, dude, and
You know what I mean?
that's
It's little
the thing.
things like that.
It's like you got to think about it. It's like, what do you want to be known for? You want to be known that guy that was there for 6 months and dipped, and that was my whole thing about when I was really thinking about leaving and all that stuff. And I've really weighed my options to see where I was in life, and I just realized like all my people are here, like like just down to my academic counselor, like that's my homie. Like that's my dog, and he's been through a
He's
lot with
great.
me, and I was able to build a great relationship with him, Carmen, all of them, and
Yeah.
the trainers, and just like how you go about your everyday is important. And if you don't really have something that's stable and you're bouncing around from thing to thing, I think that will leak into your later life. Because I mean, football is going to end at some point, and I don't want to be known as the guy that bounced around forever, couldn't stay in one spot because this didn't work out, that didn't work out. I was the team captain, brother. Like that's voted by the players. Like that's not somebody else saying that. So I think that speaks more to me than being able to get recruited and throwing some money in your face. Like all that's noise. That's what I call it. It's noise. It don't really matter. And I think if that's what you're about, I mean, that's your prerogative. I'm never going to say anything to anybody about transferring or going to make more money.
For sure.
But I mean, I guess just different. I don't know. I just
Come on.
Chase, I looked up Elijah, by the way, on Open Doors.
Mhm.
You're shortchanging yourself. $10 for an autograph? Come on.
hey, listen. I'll do whatever. I'm autographs are a little different though. If I gotta sign something to send it to you, I think $10 is fair. But like if you catch me in the street, brother, I'll take pictures, sign whatever you need. Like kids always get me after the game because they want my gloves, and they're stickler about O-line gloves. And first of all, them things stink, bro. Them things
Yes,
are
they're gross.
dirty.
Yeah.
So I normally just try to keep it for special occasions. After we beat James Madison, I gave my dad one and my girlfriend the other. So I
I
try.
love you,
I try
honey.
my
Here's something that stinks.
Yeah, she
Yeah, I
didn't
love
like
it.
that. Oh,
You're
she
gonna need to
watched.
watch
She
this.
like I didn't
It's
even
gross
sign
and
it yet.
useless for you, by the way, because it's probably too big.
Dude,
And,
oh,
and
I
when are you
got
gonna wear
I
offensive line
got
gloves?
huge
But here you
hands
go.
too. I wear a 4X. Like it's the size of her head. It's terrible, dude. It's somewhere in here. I don't really know where, but I normally try to sign it and everything like right after the game. But she was like, "Don't sign it. I'm washing it first. Like then you can sign it." My dad's just like, "Sign it. I don't care. Just let me get it."
Awesome. Love
Yeah.
that. And I wanna clarify that's
Look,
open.
hold on. She just brought them.
Hey, I have the same. I promise you, I could. That closet right behind me. Nobody can see it, but closet right behind me, Fish has those same gloves. I hate that they have the same gloves there. That's terrible. That is
Dude.
open Dorse DORSE, and then you can search Elijah Fisher. I want that on record.
Absolutely. Go support. I appreciate everything, and just people taking the time out of their day to look at what I can offer them is you know like I appreciate it so much. It's a great feeling.
So, Fish, we got to wrap it up there because your handler's getting a little antsy. Not only the one that wants dinner, but we had to have Martin on here to make sure we didn't have any kind of calls
Where
to
is he?
action or anything like that.
I want to see him. Let me see your beautiful face, Martin.
Martin!
Hey, there he is. Yes, sir. My
He comes
God.
back. He's back on the
Welcome.
pod.
Welcome. Oh,
But
that's
He's
my
not
guy.
unmuting. It's cool, Martin. You look great.
Shout out to
Fish,
Martin, though.
we always close out the show with stories. So I want to hear some good old hotel stories. You have, the 6:30, 7 o'clock kickoff. So that means on Saturday, you're kind of just at the hotel until probably like 3 or so. What's it like
Yeah.
at the hotel? Give us some good inside scoop there of the hotel.
Oh man. So the hotel's a treat. And so especially before in past years when we'd have home games, we would just stay at the dorms. But Coach V came in and he was like, He's like, I don't care if we're playing home away, we're staying at a hotel. So but the best trip that I can really remember was going when we played Marshall, we stayed at the Peabody. And there was dude, it was so weird. Like they had ducks walking through and stuff. They had like a like roped off area for the ducks to walk onto the elevator and get on. And we're arriving as all this has happened. There's like hundreds of people in the lobby, and we're just like there's like a line of football players weaving through people, and just so many laughs. And that time we had got a room. So I always roomed with Jay Mickle. Obviously that's my guy. And we had the door that connects the next hotel room. The next hotel room was Carter Miller and Drew Hutchison. And just a weird group of people right there, all offensive linemen, in case you get it. But Reese still comes in, and he's known for popping people with towels. Like that's his thing. Like him and Jay just get after it, dude. Like they will sit there and hold their leg out and let them pop each other's calves for 45 minutes straight. And I'm not kidding. Back and forth, just bow, ow, ow, bow. Just keep going back and forth, back and forth. Well, the whole time this is happening, I'm on my bed. I got the blanket over me. I got two pillows on both sides of me. I'm trying to not get friendly fire. Drew's over there in the corner rapping to himself. Carter's in the other room doing steps because we got a game tomorrow. It's just a shit show every single time that we go. We go and travel, and offensive line gets to stay in a room together, dude. It just gets so hectic, and football's on, so half the time we're flaming other teams. Like the stories could go on and on, but the Peabody just sticks out because it was just like because we had got there early too, so we had a bunch of time, and especially the night before we had a bunch of time because dinner wasn't until later, and then after dinner we had meetings. Then we went back and still had like 3-4 hours to chill, and it was just like I think at one point we had like all the offensive line in our rooms. like in the 2 rooms, like we were just in there cutting up, and it just Chase can tell you, dude, it gets crazy. Just the stories, the words coming out of people's mouths, the actions, like all of it's just so questionable. Then that's why he said, you're always the oddball being an offensive lineman, and I love it. I pride myself on it. I think I'm the weirdest one.
100%.
I think I own that, and I think Martin can speak to that too. Like I'm definitely probably the weirdest one. Um, People will see a TikTok that I did today at some point, and I was being, acting like fish, just being weird and stuff during it. And, I think it's fun. And I think if you're not doing that, the whole love of the game kind of dwindles. And, the main thing about football is being with your homies, being with your boys, going out there every day, sweating, dying, and picking your boy off the ground and being like, come on, let's go. And then you do that for 6 weeks. Then you got spring ball, then you got break, then you got fall camp, and then it's season, and then everything just builds up, and then you're like, let's have fun. And then hotel rooms just get crazy, dude. They just get so crazy.
Fish, I want to tell you to cherish those memories, brother. They're awesome.
I will.
I have my fair share of them, and that it's a great thing. I also want to thanks for taking time out of your night to visit with us. And as I did with Coach Vincent, I'm gonna tell you something here. Okay. And I don't want you to ruin any personal brand if you haven't done that already tonight, but I want you to know something, okay?
Okay.
And I think you get this because you've been here long enough, but there is one pillar of playing at the University of Louisiana Monroe, okay?
Okay.
And that is the simple fact that we hate the University of Louisiana Lafayette.
Raging Cajuns, fuck.
We hate them, okay? And I need you next year, and I can make this promise to you, that if you aren't up there screaming along that sidelines, I promise you this way, I'll feel a little bit more comfortable with the coaching now, that I will be screaming, we effing hate these guys, because that cannot die at this university. They are an awful place on this earth. And if you learn anything from me in our time together, please know that place is a waste of soil in America.
Listen, brother, you are preaching to the choir. I want to say, first of all, if anybody's listening, I apologize for my language. These guys know I'm very different.
No, Thibs is going to bleep it all. He's fine.
Well, good. All right, well, have fun bleeping, Thibs, but
not in the least bit. It's already marked explicit and parental advisory and everything else.
But I want people to know when I tell you I have a burning hatred for UL, I am not kidding. My freshman year, I was sick during this game, and they beat us 70-something or like 68, like some crazy number, 70 to like 15 or 14 or 21, whatever. And at that moment, like that feeling in my stomach, and then fast forward to the beating, they beat us at their house right before Coach Bowden got fired, and John Hartwell, our AD, saw me crying on the sideline after that game because it really hurt. I'm looking at our sideline, everybody's laughing and cutting up, and we just got our teeth kicked in, and people were laughing and cutting up, and they're celebrating, and the rage I felt in my body, and then all of a sudden I just feel a hand, and he looks at me, he sees tears in my eyes, and he looks at me and goes, "I'll fix this," and hired Coach V. And I'm telling you, like, I love John to death. And it all started with a burning hatred for UL.
You made Chase's night with that, other than the fact you dropped an L there, Fish. So for that,
got to hold the extra L, Fish. But that's okay. We all got to learn. And I realize since you've been there that they've been called Louisiana. But when I was there, University of Louisiana Lafayette, the ULL, okay? But we'll let it slide today because at least you hate them.
And honestly, here's another thing about me. I'm very weird, and I'm very superstitious, and I don't think I've ever beat them. So I don't think I deserve to give them the ULL yet.
Martin told you to say that. That's a great recovery.
Chase, somebody hit me up, and I absolutely love this to close it out. We open up the season, obviously, with St. Francis. Somebody said their initials, while it says SFU, could be STFU. So
they're gonna
coming soon to the House of Pain.
I ain't seen nothing on them, but God bless their heart, because they got a rough one coming with ULM, and I'm not apologizing for it. It sucks, don't come play ULM. We're on a mission this year, so either get out the way or get ran over. That's pretty much where we're at.
At your job, do you ever have to deal with a nose roller? How about a snub pulley? Well, if you're installing a new conveyor belt system, dealing with the different components can sound like you're speaking a foreign language. Luckily, you've got a team ready to help. Grainger's technical product specialists are fluent in maintenance, repair, and operations. So whenever you want to talk shop, just reach out. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.